Hey, top percenters, I'm Rancer Joey.
And I'm Maxim.
And, of course, we all know Pokemon X and Y have just come out. And somebody got their hands on X.
Yeah, I've been playing it for the last 3 days as of this recording.
Is it 2 or is it 4 now?
I bought it at 1 PM Friday.
So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's Monday now.
Yeah.
So, you're on your 4th day.
Yeah.
And you basically completed it 2 days ago, didn't you?
Well, I don't have a 3rd day is playing because it's spent all day trying to find out how to find a move.
Yeah. So basically we're going to be reviewing that. But first, a quick announcement. It seems that Sunikazu Ishihara, the president of the Pokemon Company, is going to be appearing on Japanese TV on October 28th. The synopsis of the interview mentions an unprecedented game whose development started in this summer. The game is set to change Pikachu, and Ishihara is worried about how the change will affect Pikachu's popularity. More details will be given during the interview. Now, the only reason I've given that announcement is because it was at the end of the last episode, and some people might have not wanted to watch the episode because it was basically leaks and spoilers. So, now on to the really important stuff. Pokemon X and Y.
Yay!
Because in such, the big thing about the game is it's moved into the 3D realm. Well, actually, you played all the way through it. Appearance, art style, all that kind of stuff.
I
How's it look?
The 3D models actually look really good. I mean, they look like, people who have played like Stadium and any of the 3D Pokemon games will probably have some kind of reference for them. The 3D models actually look a lot more dynamic than they do in those games.
I think the biggest mention is actually the fact that this time instead of using a realistic palette, they're actually going for more of a cell shaded approach, aren't they? You know, a lot like the Wind Waker, and we all know how well Wind Waker aged.
I just think the 3D looks really good. I mean, that's for the main battles. The actual in-game art looks really good. The fact you can use the control stick move on the 3D axis as well helps a lot now.
Oh, the 8-axis movement.
Yeah.
Is that actually like a big thing, or is it just like? Is it just something that was like?
Being able to move diagonally is a godsend.
So it's now a case of this. It's like not just something that's there. It is actually it's like, hey, this is convenient.
Well, in the old games, I think because the system was built on a tile system, whereas this game is just built on a 3D open world sort of structure. So basically, it just allows you to go free movement.
Sorry about that. So professional. But anyway, before I was interrupted by my phone, we were talking about the whole the mapping system.
Yeah.
So it's actually gone from a grid work into actual in-game mapping now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think in Pokemon X and Y they started using 3D models. They were integrating the tile systems of 3D models. They'd shift the camera around to try and make it look like you were moving in like a spiral staircase or something. But it's really just shifting the camera around.
Oh, just shifting the perspective.
Yeah, so it made it look like you were moving in a circle.
A bit like what they tried in Black 2, Black and White and Black 2, White 2.
Yeah.
So the Sky Arrow.
Yeah.
There's like the length of they tried a lot of perspective shifting there.
But I feel like now they've actually just everything's in 3D. It seems a lot easier to do everything with now. The cities and towns actually look pretty big now. They actually seem big.
How does this might sound weird, but how does the game actually feel though? It's like
it feels quite good. It feels like a Pokemon game. I think the fact that early on, it's again like it seems to be a constant where you're like a new kid from another town moving in. That seems to be a constant now for Pokemon games.
Spoiler warning. Actually, this does come as a spoiler warning. You just moved to this town in this game.
Yeah.
Oh right. Because I thought it was like, actually I had like existing friends there.
No, it's like everyone...
Gen 4 and Gen 5. I already had like friends in town who've been there a while. But Gen 4 I had Paul.
Oh yeah.
And then Gen 5 was Bianca and Sharon.
But the fact that it feels like the game feels pretty good. The main storyline seems pretty solid.
Actually, yeah, it's we're going to try and avoid spoilers, but like the actual story, the actual character behind, so about the actual characters behind. So, how much weight do they have?
To be honest, in the storyline, there's other than the friends, there's 2 major political characters, which would be the leader of Team Fleur and a related character.
Oh, so Zerosic and
AZ.
Oh, AZ, yeah.
I don't know if it's Az or AZ. I don't know how people have been pronouncing it because it's 2 capital letters. You say.
Well, I guess you could press AZ or Az.
Because I assume if it was Az, it would be a lowercase c.
True, but it could just be emphasis.
But considering his backstory, AZ might sound a lot more fitting.
True. I mean, we're trying to avoid spoilers. So
yeah.
Just I mean,
that doesn't spoil anything.
I know, it was just like, I'm saying this to actually stop myself because I'm really bad when it comes to spoilers, but if I know something that's like, it depends. No, I shouldn't do that.
What's interesting though is like early on, because of the introduction of fairy type, there actually is sort of a small part. It's not like a major, it's like a minute or something, less than a minute. Basically explaining like they introduce the player to fairy types.
Of course, it's literally, like, this is a whole new thing.
Yeah, because they have to like tell you like about it, and there's NPCs that are dropping things about fairy types as well. So it does help like returning players realise what's happening with fairy types.
So basically, you've stepped into Terabithia. Everything's fairies now.
Yeah, basically. The fairy type's actually pretty interesting as a mechanic. It seems to help quite a lot in certain situations, being able to hit certain things so it's super effective. Whereas before, the moves would, the shared move wouldn't have done the same thing.
True. I mean, it's a bit like. Yeah, I'm going to bring up the comparison we actually brought up last night. The whole fact that it seems that fairies have become the new psychic. It's like it's giving you the coverage you want.
Yeah. Yeah, because they hit dark and fire is super effective, and that's quite a very broad type coverage to have.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's actually the one that's really mattered actually through the gameplay. Because everyone's like, oh, well, it's immune to dragons and it hits dragons. It's like, that's good for competitive. Because, like, your pseudos are always dragons. But now they've actually turned around and said, oh, well, you're hitting dark and fighting. Those, like much more common. Especially in the actual story arc. Especially with fighting, fighting's been around since Gen 1.
Yeah.
That's in Gen 2. And Dragon's always been, like, elusive type. It's like, I think each generation might introduce 2 or 3 new dragons.
Of course, the fact that you get Bulbasaur, or not Bulbasaur, you get one of the Gen 1 starters. I pick Bulbasaur. You get one of the Gen 1 starters pretty early on. So it's like, it's giving you 2 starters.
So you're already getting tight coverage right.
And the fact that
as
of this recording, they're literally on the... Was it when it came out Saturday? Didn't it? It came out Saturday 23rd?
There's a little debate about that because a lot of UK retailers were actually loath to sell it.
Yes.
So, I mean, Saturday was 12, but a lot of UK retailers were to sell it on Friday.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo basically noticed that everyone was breaking the street date and said, you know what, okay, you can have it a day early.
Because basically there is the Torchic download event.
Yeah, that was actually active on the Friday.
Yeah, oddly enough. But basically, game itself, I mean, the storyline's okay if you actually read it. If you're not bothered, obviously, it's maybe that. But if you
so well for me is like, I've been like wanting them to actually give me characters I could care about. Because like the first proper RPGs I played for RPG and not battle simulation was Final Fantasy 9. It's like half an hour in. And sorry to anyone who's not played Final Fantasy 9 who's actually interested, but you're a bit late to the party. Half an hour in, you actually lose one of the main character's friends.
Now
this is half an hour in, and that has more weight to it than me playing a whole day of Pokemon.
But there's kind of a different origins where Final Fantasy 5. 9's like more adult origins where Pokemon's towards those kids. Well,
it's still a whole fact that's like, I've always felt like the NPCs in Pokemon, like, to me, had like no weight. It's like they tried really hard for them, but it's like, no, I'm not buying into this. I mean, that could just be me.
I don't know.
If you like N, I'm not saying that's bad. It's just I don't feel that the characters in the Pokemon story have ever had any real weight to them.
I don't know. I think AZ's got some weight to it. There's a lot we don't know about him.
I've heard about AZ, then he sounds compelling. He sounds like somebody I want to know more about. But I'm guessing he's also, from your perspective, he's quite footnote, isn't he? He's like
he's name dropped. He's not name dropped, but he's hinted towards like as a. It's kind of like
he's a plot element, but as a presence, he's very footnote. He's like, no, I want this. I want that kind of thing. Like, give me some intrigue. I like the intrigue.
For a canon character, it's very interesting as to what he could continue to go on to though.
And what he wants.
Yeah.
Sorry if that was a spoiler, but what he wants.
I can't think what else. The battle system is pretty interesting as they've added a new mechanic called Pokemon Army, which is basically Nintendo's Pokemon. I'm not sure if
it's also called Hacks.
There's actually an interesting point that the fact that Pokemon Army kind of has like a heart system, and basically that heart system decides how much your Pokemon quote unquote likes you. And I don't know if that's the same as the same for happiness, if that's the same measurement.
Oh, if
now.
it's the same metric. Actually, I think it might be, because that would mean that happiness evolution has become a lot easier, because you just have to interact with your Pokemon more, instead of having to, like, grind with while they have
I've not even encountered a Pokemon that needs happiness to evolve, or even, I've not used Return, actually, but
yeah, because, you don't get a regale, do you?
Well, I've
you can catch them.
I've encountered Mantike, but I don't think that needs happiness to evolve.
I think Mantike is, if I'm right.
That's what I thought. So again, I've not encountered any Pokemon that needs happiness.
I mean, I know
just yet.
I know there are while we're losing the game.
Yeah, but I've not encountered one. But I don't know. So I don't know if that's the same. I don't think it is, but it might be.
I think it might relate to the same metric, but the effects from AME
yeah, I mean, the
will
effects
only
from
come from AME.
Yeah, the effects from AME are absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's weird though they give it a French name.
Well, it's the whole game's fun. I mean, the professor just drops loads of like French words and stuff.
Alright.
So
he just like he looks like he's got this like a whole French thing going on with like the fancy hair like.
It says
I'm Scottish, well.
And it says that you've got the whole
Professor
je ne sais
Sycamore.
quoi. He literally just drops in and says like, oh, you've got the whole je ne sais quoi. And it's like, okay, you're French, I get it. But no, I mean, it offers a lot of bonuses for doing it. The main one that pops up quite often is the fact you get boosted experience. Multiple basically increases the chances of your moves having a successful chance to do something. So if it has a stat drop, it'll do that more. If it crits, it'll crit more.
If it also if it has like poison paralysis, I'm guessing those come up more.
Well, yeah, it comes off.
No, if you're actually applying it. But yeah, actually getting onto that.
Yeah, it's
like they don't want you to worry about them anymore.
Yeah, literally, there's points where I've had us playing this. Like basically, Pokemon said it was got poisoned or paralyzed. But literally, the text said the Pokemon didn't want me to worry, so it got rid of the status. I'm like, I'd love to know how it got rid of that status because that would save so many full heals.
So so many full heals. It's like, well, why don't you Pokemon Center? Because all we need from is like basically teach every Pokemon a recovery move. Okay, recover.
Actually, I wonder if you could
get rid of your own status.
I just realised you probably break rest in game with that. Maybe.
It might not be able to deactivate sleep actually. Because think about it, the Pokemon's asleep, so it can't. It's not awake for it to be conscious.
It's game mechanics. It'll just see status. But the one thing that's pointed out that was stuck out, well, because it just happened last night, is the fact that the Pokemon is on Red Hell. Specifically, it was the Gardevoir. Well, this is major spoilers. Major spoiler warning. Is the fact the champion's main Pokemon is Gardy and has a Mega Evolution. I'm doing the whole mirror match thing, and basically it hit with a Shadow Ball, would have killed me, but apparently the Gardevoir has an invisible Focus Sash. Because basically Pokemon Ami's like, no, you can have a Focus Sash now. I'm like, okay.
As well as actually, you were using the Lucky Egg at the time, weren't you?
Yeah,
because you were just like you were grinding for the experience.
I was grinding because I was trying to find because I was like, what's moved past? I can't find it, and then you found it.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Also, anyone who is actually wondering like how to get Moonblast onto a Gardevoir, we've not found a TM. Supposedly it's Move Tutor. Max found out after hearing that you have to relearn it. Level 85 on Gardevoir.
Yeah, I think
so.
Previously...
Internet, you can thank us for that. We've actually got confirmation of this.
Yeah, because previously it was Store Power, which was 80, which was Guardian's last move, but now it seems to be Moonblast, which is 85.
Yeah, so she's just getting all signature moves, just like Psychic, which is a second thing. Stored Power because it became her thing.
I mean, I don't know if this translates to anything like if Clefable or Wiggles has to
Wigglies.
Has to get to such a high level to get Moonblast. I don't know why it's such a high level. Moonblast is basically it's base 95 attack with 100 accuracy, so it's kind of like your Ice Beam or your old Ice Beam, Surf and stuff like that. So it's a pretty staple move.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why it's such a high level. Maybe because competitive battle doesn't care about levels. But
true. In my opinion, it could be a case of that. Just like we don't want to rejig the entire move list for one new move. We'll just stick it on the end.
But
we can't have it 81. We'll put it 85.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to do. I mean, it's not like a terrible complicated thing. Basically, it's basically Nintendogs, and you have to play the mini games to get. I think it's. I don't know what they are. They look like muffins or cakes or something. And they probably actually have a name. I think it's Puffin or something.
It's probably like a Puffin.
It's something like it's not Puffin, but it's.
It's actually Puffin.
No, it's like a cake. I don't know what it's called. Someone will probably tell me.
It is a muffin.
May as well be. Basically, you play mini games, you get muffins, and you feed them to your Pokemon, and they get happy and stuff like that.
Oh, so you have to earn the actual foods.
Yeah, I say earn. You have to play like a minute-long mini game.
Well, I'm not saying it's like hard to earn.
No.
Yeah, you have to earn them. It's not just like we've got this like infinite resource.
Yeah. But no. Apart from Mega Evolution's quite interesting, obviously. As a mechanic. Still, because of the game, still very, very new. Even though it's been leaked for it's been a week or so.
It was people started getting their hands on it a week beforehand, and
yeah,
that's where all of my leaks have been coming from.
I mean, still,
people
Internet. Are still finding new Mega Pokemon.
Yeah, true. I mean, actually, I don't know what I should say on that because that's as a spoiler.
No, let's leave it for now. We can do an episode on it later if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we'll wait till there's like the stuff coming out on March.
But the fact that we don't have a set list of them, people still finding new stuff, which is quite interesting.
I've heard rumours was meant to be about 100. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot less than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like 100 seems like a lot of Mega Pokemon. Because it's basically it's about the 7th of Pokedex right now.
But
also, like a lot of and there's something I do want to address though, and it's the whole fact that a lot of people have been complaining that there's not a lot of new Pokemon in here, and I just want to set something like straight with that. I think it's kind of easy to see why there aren't that many Pokemon, because each generation normally they've had to create new sprite work for like 100 Pokemon. But this time they've had to create 3D models from Bulbasaur up to Genesect, plus the new Pokemon. So that could be a reason behind it.
You have to remember that you have to add new models for Megas as well.
Yeah, and the new models for Megas as well, so let's see, how many Megas have we seen? Oh, we'll say around 30.
Yeah, it's about 30-ish.
So that's 750 new models.
I'm pretty sure they did like an interview where they said they had to hire like a lot more people for the team, didn't they?
Oh yeah, because it's not going to be it's not a small task.
No. And it looks like from the models, like a lot, from previous experience when Pokemon have had models, like I know a lot of models from Colosseum for the GameCube had a lot of models that looked like the Pokemon Stadium models. Yeah, but in this case, it seems like made new models for everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. There's like some of the animations are quite similar,
but the models look genuinely different.
Yeah, it's like the proportions are slightly differently. Talking about proportions, the Team Druddigon is going to be absolutely amazed when they actually do see Druddigon in the game.
Druddigon looks so
he's not hunched over anymore.
I saw that 3D and I was like, it actually looks cool. It doesn't look like. I think that's the advantage of having 3D models in the face. You
can actually show how they're meant to be posed. It's not there's no error in perspective. Because you can go around the entire thing.
The fact that the 3D models, they've had to animate all those 3D models for the Pokemon Army as well.
True.
Including in battle animations.
I mean, it's not just in the Army. It's also like a little thing you've noticed.
It
is such a small detail, but I think as you said, it does have some weight to it.
The Pokemon Army, the higher the hearts are. The Pokemon actually seems to have some kind of feedback system where introduced in the battle, Pokemon say like they're interested in what's in your bag. It seems to be kind of like a quirk to try and make it seem like the anime. So the Pokemon actually have some kind of characteristics themselves.
True. I was thinking more of the fact that, as you mentioned it, the whole fact that after you've gone through the whole just when you basically battle, I don't know if it's based on Ami as well. The fact that you've noticed your Gardevoir looking back towards you.
Yeah.
It's like waiting for your command. It's like, did I do good? It's like punch. Did I do good? You did great.
Yeah. I mean, for the actual game itself, I think the game is quite short, but I don't know if that's because the XP All item is broke or anything.
I think it is XP All that's done.
Because I was again, I don't know if it's spoilers. I mean, it's probably going to be spoilers all over this episode, to be honest, because it's X and Y. If you haven't bought it yet, you're not going to know. I was up to the Elite Four, and most of my guys were like mid-70s, and all their guys were like low 60s. I'm like, I didn't farm or anything. I just played the game.
I think it is just the whole fact that, as you said, because you get the XP All, you didn't have to rotate your team half as much, did you? You might have to occasionally bring one or two guys to the front for a few battles because they're only getting half the experience of the active guy.
Yeah.
But it's as levels get higher, the experience gap between levels increases.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have your active Pokemon race ahead, and everything else in your party starts lulling behind.
Yeah, everyone kind of stays around the same.
Yeah, they'll be comparable. Everyone in your party will be around the same mark. your active fighter might be, say, 4 or 5 levels ahead. And that's if it's been there for quite a while.
So I don't know if that's just because the EXP hole is kind of broke. I mean, I know I found a lucky egg like a post game, but I think you can find it pre Elite 4 from what I can gather. I'm not sure.
It could be pretty early. We've seen people do it quite early on.
I just
supposed to get words on.
So, but the main storyline, the actual main part of the game, which I did basically from starting the game to getting beating the champion, is alright. Post game, again, I don't know if there's much. It doesn't seem like it at the moment, but what I'm saying, a lot of people seem to enjoy X and Y, and I think the reason people like it is because it's the first 3D Pokemon game that's showing what the next generation of Pokemon games is going to look like on the 3DS.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
so it's basically showing us what the next Pokemon games will be like because we know the Pokemon X and Y only take up a very like a quarter of the amount of memory that's on the 3DS cart.
Mm-hmm.
So we could expect like much bigger games to come out.
True. I mean, I mentioned this to you yesterday. It's like this is very, very unlikely, but it's the whole fact that like last generation, back in Gen 5, we actually missed our remake slot.
Yeah.
Because World Black 2 White 2 came out, it's not we would get our remake. And the remake tends to always be 2 games back. And this thing actually spawned from like when we were talking about Gold and Silver. Because it's like the only multi-region area.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe we're going to do 3 and 4 together, or something like that. So then we looked at the map and it's like, oh, they're nowhere near each other, so we can't really do that.
People are saying like it's been not named.
But there's a lot of space for it now.
People are saying there might be a Hoenn. The other thing is, now it's on the 3DS, they can use the SD card if you want to do DLC for new areas and stuff.
True, they could do that.
The thing is, I feel that X and Y is Pokemon as a company dipping their toes in the water for 3D world. Now they've got, because obviously like a lot of this time, the X and Y, the development, has been making 3D models for everything. I mean, the next 3D Pokemon game has the advantage.
New Pokemon.
Well, they just have to make new Pokemon. Everything else has been already done for them, so they just have to they have more time expanding the world. I feel.
And if they want to actually update the engine, it's like that still doesn't matter. It's like, well, there's like 750 Pokemon you've got there right now. It's fine. All you have to do is make them fit. You don't have to build them from scratch anymore. There's your template.
I think the other problem is at the moment with X and Y, not a problem with the game, it's a problem with what you've got accessible to us at the moment. Now, people who've completed the game are now basically trying to get the resources back from the previous games they've owned, so they can, when on the 27th of December, they'll be able to upload all their old Pokemon to X and Y.
Yeah, so you can have you can always have like their old favourites. They can also have like a competitive team map.
Yeah, and they'll be able to try and get the resources to get the new Pokemon, the new competitive Pokemon.
Yeah, like I know for a fact that I said someone's looking at Aegislash.
Aegislash looks really good. If you haven't looked into him, I suggest you. He looks very interesting at the moment. I don't know what his future holds him, but at the moment he looks like he could hold he could hold in OU at the moment, I'm guessing.
I'm surprised if he finds something to do this, depending on what people manage to build from him. Because right now we've only got like Theoremon and like basically people saying it could do this, that and the other. So we've not actually seen one test it. Somebody could find a way to turn around and say, oh, Aegislash, break this.
I should probably mention that with Pokeami, there's also a system that allows you to EV train Pokemon really easily. People saying they can EV train like under an hour.
Oh, the Super Training Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although EV training right now is going to be kind of pointless, as you pointed out. You don't even look at EVs until you've got your IV spread.
Yeah. There's also like a couple of mechanics I'm just thinking of.
I'm not heard about them making IVs any more transparent yet.
They haven't. Well, other than having like they'd say it's much cheaper, so it scatters things, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that just gives you like an idea. But it's
I believe in Black and White, and in Black and White 2, there was a system that allowed you to interact with players through wireless connection. Not through battles, but it was like you go to the world or something.
Yeah, the Dream World.
No, not the Dream World.
What's that Dream World?
The Entralink?
Oh yeah, Entralink, yeah, because Dream World was an extension of it.
They've kind of introduced something like that. It's kind of like a Street Pass kind of thing, but you can basically give them like bonuses like experience or attack or defense and stuff like that.
Oh, so they are really like pushing for the social part as well.
I mean, I was at a convention yesterday, so there's like a lot of people on that list. That's
I saw a lot more on Saturday, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know what else.
It's like between your mini games of Vanguard.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, but I think as a game on its own, it's quite small. But again, a lot of Pokemon is usually the competitive battling scene, which is what seems to be the driving force of a lot of fans.
Although, to be honest, though, because of the Mega Evolutions, it's like basically, oh, you completed the main story. Time to go on a treasure hunt.
Yeah, the other thing is, I don't know how to word this to people, because I've played a lot of Pokemon and I've done competitive battling, so I don't know if my experiences are going to reflect those of a player who's just started Pokemon. Like, I do not know if they'll be able to get to these mid-70 guys on the Elite Four and all that stuff.
I don't think it would be that easy for somebody just getting in, but it's because you have to learn the weakness system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to pick up, but it's like it's not something that you're going to know straight away. No matter who you are, it's like you'll probably spend an hour or so just learning the weakness system.
Yeah.
Once you've worked out your weaknesses, then you can just go. If you're great with RPGs, you'll blitz it eventually.
But I think as a game, on the storyline on its own, the storyline's good. I think the game is quite smallish because I don't think we've uncovered everything yet, so that might be why we're thinking it's quite small. Yeah, we've still got a lot of Mega Evolutions to find, which is going to be exciting for the next couple of months or so.
I'd say it's a couple of weeks, maybe not months. But
it depends we don't know what, because a lot of Pokemon, you have to remember, but some Pokemon might not be able to get in X and Y that might have to be transferred over.
Oh, true. So yeah, it's going to be maybe mid-January.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things we don't know yet.
I have heard a certain quirk that supposedly certain two Mega Evolutions that were revealed. Actually, no, this won't be a spoiler. It was actually revealed publicly.
Yeah.
It's like Mega Charizard, Mega Aggron. Supposedly, the Pokemon themselves are individual to each of their games. So I think Aggron is X and Charizard is Y.
Yes.
I've heard that their stones are in the opposite game.
That's not the only one.
Oh, there's another one.
I believe, I'm not sure if it's spoilers. Spoiler warning if it is. I believe Houndoom and Manectric also have opposite stones in games.
Ah, right. So it's gonna. So right now they're just turning around and say, trade with your friends or buy 2 copies of the game.
Well, they've always been. Pokemon's always about having trade with your friends, even since Red Blue, since they have those version exclusives.
We at Nintendo want you to buy a game twice.
Well, you can't buy the You need to be 2 3DSs to trade with each other. I didn't actually use Pokemon Box actually, I suppose. Well, not the box, but the Pokemon storage system.
Oh, the Pokemon Bank. Actually, yeah, you could do that one.
Yeah, so I suppose you can do that. So I think
we can do one 3DS now. We at Nintendo no longer need you to buy 2 consoles. We have enough money, but we would like you to buy 2 games.
Well, if everyone does a license, well, it's $5 a year, isn't it?
The bank, yeah. So you're saying it's $5 a year.
I think it's $5 a year. I don't know why it isn't UK. That's just because of a lot of announcements because it's the American.
It's American market.
English, so it's American. It's how it works. I think it's $5 a year. And say if everyone buys one, it's probably like 20 million DSs or something. I don't know.
Well, let's see.
It's also the fact.
DS sales.
It's also the fact that this system. It's probably going to be future compatible as well, so like all the new Pokemon games.
Yeah, they have mentioned that it's going to be future compatible, so it's going to be over years.
Yeah.
I can't find the actual sales numbers for the 3DS itself. The best-selling game though is Super Mario 3D Land, and that was 8.29 million units.
Okay.
So if we assume that there's going to be more than 8.29 million.
The other thing is that we don't know. People are saying there might be a Pokemon Z. Because of the there's always legendary trio, and the third member of that trio will probably get a game. We don't know if there's going to be any exclusive items in that game as well. Maybe they might introduce more megas.
That is very possible. Except that those megas will be exclusive to Z.
That's been done
but
before.
Same with Platinum with Giratina Origin Form.
And again in Black and White 2 with Kyron forms.
Oh yeah. Oddly enough though, the original DS can't actually see them.
Can it see them or can it just comprehend them?
It can comprehend them, but it can't actually see the spine.
Yeah. So I don't know.
$5 a year for 8.29 million units. That's just like going off the Super Mario 3D Land figures. That is $41.45 million.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be pretty safe with that. It's like they're making, you know, it's a small investment for each member. That's a year.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo Nintendo and Game Freak are taking good steps to actually make sure that, you know, they keep themselves fiscally secure.
But I don't know. I think it's a pretty good. I think I've enjoyed playing it. I mean, a lot of people's back to people saying there's not many new Pokemon. I didn't feel it affected it when I was playing through the game. It was nice to see old Pokemon, and if there's something new, it felt like it felt new. You know, it's something interesting to see.
Yeah. To be honest, though, it's like certain parts of it to me, these seem like you'll like blatant shout outs to like, you know, like generations 1 and 2.
Well, obviously the fact they give you a Gen 1 starter kind of. I feel
that's
the
fact that your end team was 50% Generation 1.
By the second time I was at the second gym, about three members of the team were like, one was like Ivysaur, Pidgeot, and who was it one? Oh yeah, Pikachu. So I was like, I felt like I was playing Gen 1 again.
You'd have had a Greninja on there as well.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying that's literally a Gen 1 team.
Alright,
I could probably have.
You said the 3 members of the team, so you only have 3 on your team at that time.
I understand. I'd probably pick up Pokemon Blue and like play it, and I'd probably have that team for Rock or something.
Yeah, actually. You could.
Yeah, exactly. I think the fact that they're doing the Gen 1s like that's actually on the advertisements, like on the main advertisements on TV and stuff, is they're telling you that Pokemon from Generation 1 are back. I feel that's a way to introduce people that may have not played Pokemon for a long time, to reintroduce them back in.
I think it's a huge grab at a lot of the fan base. It's like, did you play Pokemon 15 years ago? Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, they released Origins just beforehand as well.
Well, Origins
Origins was advertised for those who played the original Pokemon.
I don't think Origins has been advertised on television yet.
I've seen the US advertisement for it. Yeah. I don't know if it's been on TV, but we do actually have a US trailer, and it does actually just start off with those words for those who played the original games.
But I don't know. But again, I think X is definitely a good game to pick up. I mean, obviously it's a new Pokemon game, so. But if nothing else, it's for all the new added features, just to see how much better the world looks from the old games, from seeing how far we progress from sprite work to 3D models.
From like black and green 2D plane.
Yeah.
It's like the game has come a long way. I mean, it's been 15 years. You would expect it to develop a lot, but it's like it's doing the whole Final Fantasy thing actually. Overall, it's like going from like a very simple premise to becoming something like bigger and more beautiful.
I should probably at this point say, while talking about graphics, I actually like the 3D in this game. I was actually trying to do the 3D and one 3D slider up for the first time since
you bought the console.
Well, since the first time I bought Phantom Ganon in Ocarina of Time. But the only problem is, I mean, the 3D looks good. It actually looks really nice. The problem is it dropped a frame rate to something horrific.
Well, you mentioned Phantom Ganon. I'm guessing it does actually put it at the same level, making it so the game's actually playing at 20 frames per second.
Yeah.
Where it's meant to run at a steady 60.
So I was like, I'd like to play it at full 3D, but I feel like it wasn't handling the full 3D very well.
Well, hopefully, if we do get Pokemon Z, they'll actually will have like optimized it for that.
But again, it's not a problem with the 3D. It's a problem with the fact that it's just not optimized to use. It actually looked really nice to see the 3D.
And one last thing before we finally actually close off though, the soundtrack.
There's a couple of memorable songs. I think we were just saying this last night. The Champions theme seems to be a remake of the original Champions theme.
Yeah, it's definitely what they used for Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
It's also the fact that it's got you stood there. It's like circling you with your Pokemon around you.
Yeah.
A lot like you used to circle the trophy. So I did like that. I was like. It was my nostalgia. It was right in the feels.
So I point out when I say Champions theme, I mean when you've actually beaten the champion, when you are the champion.
Yeah.
I don't know, the soundtrack's pretty interesting. I liked the Team Fleur music.
I've actually heard that one. I'll have to look into it.
It's I quite like that.
I've spent about half an hour listening to like the Zygarde battle theme.
Right.
It's like it did seem to become like background noise after a bit. It did have some impact to it, but it's like after a while you're more focused on like catching the Zygarde.
I think
it could be a piece you could listen to. Then.
I can't remember if it's the Gym Leader or the Elite Four music. There's one of the two. I think it's the Gym Leader one. I liked the song. I felt like it was an intro for a better song. Like it was supposed to break into something and
It was
start
meant to
the
get
actual
bigger.
song. Yeah, it was like, it never did. The actual music for like the roads and stuff is alright. The battle theme, battle theme's pretty alright, the generic battle theme.
I'm guessing overall it became. It's probably memorable, but it's just like become like white noise vision better like a million times.
Yeah, I suppose that's the only problem.
And it's like the only problem. That's always going to be a problem with the battle themes. Like, no matter how good they make the battle theme, eventually it becomes white noise to you.
I suppose speaking of sound, that like, Pikachu is now the only Pokemon in the game that doesn't make generic sounds.
It actually is like, yeah, they've finally like taken the direction they were going with ever since Yellow.
Yeah.
Because with Yellow, they actually changed its cry to make it sound more like it was actually, more like it was saying its name.
Yeah.
Unlike every other Pokemon.
No, actually, just to say its name.
Yeah, they've actually given it a sound bite.
It's quite interesting because pretty sure if they have soundbites for Pikachu, I'd like to see in Z maybe soundbites of Pokemon, because I know they had Pokemon soundbites for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. They had soundbites for that.
Oh, I mean for the Squirtle, the Ivysaur, and the Charizard.
And also the Pokeball items.
Oh yeah, because we actually have Sinacta, or Gardevoir.
Yeah, Gardevoir, like Groudon and stuff like that. So I'd like to see updated, like maybe using those soundbites as well.
But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for them to actually take those soundbites and bring them across.
It depends who owns them. I assume Nintendo.
Well, it's like
Pokemon
Nintendo. It's going to be between HAL, Nintendo, and Game Freak. But HAL can't use them without Nintendo and Game Freak say so.
So I mean, they've already started to step in that direction, so I'd like them to continue in that direction, especially when they've got the animator for back on. They can probably just get the voice actors from the Japanese anime or something, or the English anime. I don't know how it would work, because maybe you could choose a universal name, and some of the others are like Gardevoir is Turnite, but it's a Gardevoir in America or England or wherever you come from. So it might not be possible with all of them, and that's obviously why in the past we just had generic noise. So they have to give it new names in every country.
Yeah. But I'm going for like even like with the books and this whole like global releasing right now, if they carry on, which to be honest, I hope they do. Even with everyone breaking Street Day, I really do hope they keep up with the universal thing. I don't think that I don't want Nintendo to see everyone breaking the Street Day because everyone's like taking like a Nintendo. It's like no, everyone wanted to keep everyone else are getting some of that lovely Nintendo green.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon X and Y. It's like the most anticipated Pokemon game.
Yeah,
it's like well, you can't really anticipate Red Blue because there was nothing before them. There was no
yeah.
And after that, it was just progression. But then all of a sudden, it's like new world, new graphic engine, all these new models. It's like they've taken Pokemon and completely repackaged it, and they've done an amazing job with it. It's like
I mean, it's the first Pokemon game I've been excited
it's
for
not
in a
like
long
it's
time.
a continuation. They've effectively rebooted Pokemon. It's like it's basically okay. Here's all this new stuff. Here's a new type. It's basically let's reboot. I mean, like the whole fairy thing. I feel that they wanted fairies right from day one. That's why we had Clefairy.
Yeah.
And it's designated as a fairy Pokemon. If it's not a fairy type, it is going to be hilarious.
Yeah. Because I've not seen any Clefairies. I think I've seen Jiggles. I've seen reports of Jiggles, but I've not seen a Clefairy.
Yeah, I mean, we know Jigglypuff's actually guaranteed, and that's why I think it's weird. It's like, fairy type, here's Jigglypuff.
I think it's because people know who Jigglypuff is.
Well, people know who Clefairy is. Clefairy was meant to be the mascot.
But more people know who Jigglypuff is because she was on the anime. And she's also in Brawl.
True.
Well, she's in Smash Bros. In general.
Is it Clefairy going? I'm pretty sure it's like...
Jigglypuff's the actual character though.
So it's actually, Jigglypuff actually stable. I thought we had Clefairy in one of these early games.
Probably have Clefairy as a Pokeball item.
Alright, so Pokeball.
But Jigglypuff's actually been like a fighter for like all of Smash Bros.
Was it yeah, it was day one.
It's first new challenger.
True, because we had but I always thought it was weird that we had Jiggles and Kirby because they're basically the same idea. They're both like pink balloon things.
That just makes it easy to make him better.
Yeah, it's actually being lazy, but they became fan favourites. In fact, I think Kirby's multi-jump is better than Jigglypuff's, isn't it?
No, because Jigglypuff can punch to move itself forward as well. Yeah.
Wow. I actually thought Kirby's was better because he technically flies in his game.
No, because Jiggles can technically move forward without actually jumping.
Oh, right.
So that kind of breaks it. But no, Yeah, so we're still waiting. I think what's quite exciting about X and Y, because it's global release. We haven't got like a load of spoilers. Japan have had like 2 months ago, and has given us all this information. Everyone's finding out at the same time.
Yeah, it's added to this. You know, the surprise factor's been a lot higher. It's not like, oh, we can look forward to this. We can look forward to this. It's like, you know, people getting hands on the games like, oh my god, what is it? This is amazing. It's like you actually had a few oh my god moments. It's like, mostly before the second gym, it's like, how am I meant to deal with this? And then you found the XP all.
Yeah.
It's like I think XP all is I won't be surprised if like, you know,
I foresee that being taken out in.
It's either in Z or in the Gen 7 they're going to make it like an XP share. I think it might be an experimental with it. Because we've not had XP all since Gen 1, and the Gen 1 was back.
I think, I don't know, I'm not sure why they added it. Maybe because there is such a difficulty curve, because without it, I don't know, I feel I would have to have farmed a lot more.
Yeah, you'd have been grinding a lot more.
But then again, I had mid-70s and they were low 60s, so I'm not sure how much more left to have done.
Well, to be honest though, it's the whole fact that, you know, because everyone was staying level. Like, you know, I mean, the grinding isn't really, you know, it's like, oh, I have to like build everything up for the next area. It's basically, I have to build everything up so it's even. And, you know, the only reason you'd ever be under level is like, you've got leveled like the front guy up in one.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when you've got everything else leveled, everything's just below the level you need.
I don't know.
That's why guides have always been so good, because it's basically a case of, here you go.
I think there's just a couple more things before I finish off. I think a lot of rival characters are interesting. The fact that there's only 2 of them that really battle you, the fact that the other 2 can battle you, it's such a great experience drop. It's just basically, that's all I think, is like, it's free experience. And free money. So,
wait, you're telling me that you even know like all of these rival characters, like 2 are optional?
No, 2 just don't battle you as often as the other 2.
Alright.
One's introduced, one character, the one with the Vanillite shirt. I'm not actually sure if it changes from game to game.
No, it's Super Mario World shows him wearing Vanillite.
No, I mean, if you pick a boy, it's 2 girls. If you pick the girls, it's the 2 boys.
Oh, yeah, I see.
I'm not sure if that's anything, because I picked the boys, so, the Vanillite guy, he likes dancing, and he's interested in Pokemon dances, whereas the Justin Bieber kid, his haircut looks like Justin Bieber, that's all I call him. He's actually more interested in actually completing the Pokedex.
Yeah.
Where the 2 girl characters seem to be more interested in actually battling the main character.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's a gender difference or anything. Well, I think it's quite interesting, there's a lot of them. It's not just one rival, it's like a lot of rivals. And they actually do seem to, they seem to be memorable enough to remember who they are. I mean, I don't remember the name, I don't remember if one's Shauna, because I think that's the main rival.
Oh, Trevor.
Yeah. It looks like Justin Bieber's hair.
Yeah. Well, Justin Bieber's a thing. Oh, I'm going to have to actually put this in the episode now.
I mean, remember that because it wasn't. I think.
Do you think he's going to release a song for the baby? The baby, punch. Yeah, we're not believers. Can you believe it?
I think Team Fleur, there's actually some really good points that Team Fleur do in the game. They actually have some really good plans. Some teams in the past have had some really daft ideas, but Team Fleur, the main goal is kind of iffy, but they do have some solid things during the game. So I think the characters are actually pretty good in the game. I mean, they're memorable enough that you'll remember them after you've done the Game Boy or like DS.
Well, that's always something to actually look at. Yeah, that's always a good point for any non-play characters.
Yeah.
Like, I will remember these. I mean, I think for once you can actually see Justin Bieber, you actually for one, unless you see me just like, I beat your ass.
I don't know, I don't think I've got anything else to say.
I think we've pretty much like covered as much as we can without giving like huge spoilers. It's like, you know, I don't know if like spoiling.
There's one thing I could say for now, which is probably another spoiler. Not just a spoiler warning, but Mega Pokemon, you can have as many Mega Pokemon with items on your team, but when you use when one Mega evolves, you can't use another. Oh
yeah. We actually found that when we went to the con on Saturday. Because you went to Mega Venusaur.
Yeah.
I switched. You wanted to Mega Evolve Guardian. It was like,
and it wouldn't let you. So they can all carry it, but when you use one, the others can't Mega Evolve.
Yeah, I think that's more of the balancing tool.
No, I'm just saying that's something to look out for, because it doesn't actually explicitly say anyone in the game.
Yeah, but as I said, I think that's what they've done to balance it. Because it's basically, Mega Venusaur, Mega Garden, Mega everything.
Well, my biggest fear was Mega Gengar and Mega Sizewell. That was my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I did not want to face any team that had both of those.
Well, as you said, it's actually going to be a bit of a coin toss on whether Mega Sizewell is going to be better than Band Sizewell or Sword Dance Sizewell.
We have to see again. We have to see a lot of stats before we make our minds up.
I mean, heck, even if it just gets a defense boost, it's going to be bad for us.
Yeah, it's going to be bad to.
It's going to be bad to go against. It's going to be great to use.
Play against Mega Sizewell with better stats. Going to look better.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, I can't think of anything else to really discuss. So yeah, I think that's my review on that. As far as I can tell, that's not very structured at all.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I did turn around and realise like last night, oh wait, Max has actually done the E4. He's pretty much completed the main segment of the game. We've actually gone up to actually review this.
I think
to build a frame for it.
I think my favourite part of the game is finding out how easy it is to get the dive out.
Yeah, guys, have fun with that. But until next time, I've been Raptor Joey.
I'm still Max.
You guys are the top percent. Peace out.